Jenna Ortega's in a new low-budget film? Where'd this come from? Let's talk about it. Alright, welcome back to the channel, everybody. We're talking about some movies. I am Frank Zenka, your host. I am an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, and sometimes line producer, although I haven't started back work yet, like a lot of other people. I'm not sure what the holdup is here, but production has really not started going yet, so keep my fingers crossed. But in the meantime, let's talk about some movies. And remember to give me a like and subscribe so that I can grow the channel out. Pretty exciting. So since I'm not working, let's talk about movies instead. All right, let's jump into it. So we're going to talk about Miller's Girl, starring Jenna Ortega, who is a tremendous, tremendous talent. Nobody can ever say anything negative about her. She jumps into a role feet first, if not head first, and does everything that could possibly be asked from her and more. And then on top of that, we have Martin Freeman, of course, from The Hobbit and Sherlock and tons of other things. The guy's constantly working. And Bashir Salahuddin from Top Gun Maverick, Dagmara Dominique from 24. She's done a ton of television. We have a younger actress, Gideon Adlin, who does a lot of voiceover work. She did Lower Decks for Star Trek. She did Spider-Man 2, the video game. She played Phantom Girl and Legion of Superheroes. She's just done a pile of work. Christine Adams from Black Lightning, who has exactly one scene in here. And that's pretty much it. That's the entire cast of like 5 people, which is good and bad for something like this. So the question is, how did Jade Hadley Bartlett, who is a first-time writer, director, producer, how did she line up this cast of amazing actors to make this film that is nobody else would have touched, and most people won't even go see because of the subject matter? It is a drama, even though IMDb kind of has it as a comedy drama. It's definitely not a comedy. It is not a comedy. It is a very dry drama about a inappropriate relationship, which we don't really know if it's completely inappropriate, because I don't think that the main character's point of view is exactly on the level. And that's Jenna Ortega's character. So she is the student in a writing class with a failed published writer who is Martin Freeman, whose also name is Miller. And then they have another, I haven't looked him up, Henry Miller. I assume he's a real published writer. And so we have 2 Millers in here, which gets kind of confusing about which Miller they're talking about. And so that's kind of confusing. So, yeah, how did this unknown person get this amount of money to... I know it's small. It all takes place, which we talked about ISS before, about being very contained. This is also very, very contained. It's very smartly done on the producing side. And I'm sure that she didn't produce it herself. Seth Rogen, I saw, was also involved. So I don't know if they're friends or friends with benefits or whatever. And that's how he attached his name and ended up getting investors for her. That's the only thing I can think of, because this is not a movie that most people would make, because it does not have a wide audience. And on top of that, it's a first-time everything, which doesn't happen. So there had to be some promises between the 2 of them or whatever, or for him to attach his name. I think I saw Jenna Ortega's name on the producing side too. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly. But I remember seeing Seth Rogen's name for sure. So yes, I don't know what their relationship is, but he definitely helped her bring this to fruition, which would not normally happen. So I'm not going to really go into too many spoilers here, although there really isn't any, and that's part of the problem here. So it takes place in a small town in Tennessee where you have, I think it was 3 or 4 locations. So it takes place at the house of the Miller's house. It takes place at Cairo's house. I kept saying I think it was Cairo, but it's Cairo, like Egypt. That's her name. At Cairo's house, which is this like mansion type of thing. So that couldn't be cheap. So you got 2 houses there. You have the school, which they show the outside by the football field, which blocks into the woods. There's a few shots in the woods, and then it's in his classroom for the most part, and on the steps and things to that effect. And then we have the principal's office. Then we had one scene in the bar, which I think they used the same bar/restaurant for another restaurant scene, and that's it. That's pretty much everything. So yeah, again, very contained. You had 5 locations there or something like that. 5 locations, 5 actors, and you know what else feels completely off is that and they had the halls of the school too. We had a couple where we had some extras. What feels off is that she has no friends besides Winnie. She has no friends. We never see her with anyone else. I mean, she doesn't even talk to anybody in the hall. Nothing. And that feels off that she basically has one friend. Winnie comes off very flighty. She's always, trying to get laid with the coach, with the baseball coach, who is best friends with Martin Freeman's character. She's also a lesbian, so she's kind of all over the place. But she ends up being the heart of the film, which is very interesting, that she had this very flighty character that is very intelligent too, but you only find that out later. As we see her character, we see that the flightiness is really just a facade, which was very interesting. Of all the characters, I think she's probably one of the most interesting characters because she had all these layers. Where we see, whatever we get with Jenna Ortega's character, and she increasingly gets more dark as time goes on. Dagmara's character of Biu, that's the wife, is just there to be the bad guy. She's the wife. She flirts with him. She teases him, and at the end ignores him, and then belittles him. So she has to be one of the worst wives I've ever seen in my life. I don't know why he stayed with her, except I think maybe she was the money. She walks around in her nightgown almost the entire movie. And they're supposed to go away at one point, and then she cancels on him. She constantly tells him that they're going to have sex, and they don't. So, I mean, that guy was probably going nuts to begin with. So, of course, which is, of course, where the script is leading you, that he would have, feelings for this younger girl who, of course, they announced she's right at the point that she's 18, so there's no inappropriate age problem there. That she admires him as a writer, but then when he rejects her, things get ugly. And so there's a few things that are questioning, because there is a kiss between Jenna Ortega's character and Martin Freeman's character being the teacher, but we don't know if it's real or if it's imagined. So I wish we knew the answer to that. And then the whole ending drops the ball completely, because it's almost like she is trying to push him, and the wife is also pushing him to write again, because when he started being a teacher, I guess he got criticism on his last book, so he gave up writing completely. And there's a lot of cursing in here. Like, the C word is used many, many times. And she, or Jenna Ortega's character, is basically writing porn. And so again, we have all this temptation going on. So yeah, so the whole ending didn't make any sense, because I almost felt like those characters were pushing him to leave teaching and to write again. If you guys watch the film, let me know what you think, because it's not spelled out, and I really wish it was, about what was going on. The storyline is literally this big. It feels like a play at times, where people are literally just walking around a room talking, and nothing's really happening with that dialogue. I feel like the scene could have been just like a regular play, like the dialogue could have been cut earlier to move the story along, and it just kept going. So let me know what you guys think if you see the film, what you think the movie was really about, and what the ending for the characters really were. Because again, we get nothing spelled out, we get no closure, and the film just throws an idea out and just lets it bounce. That's really it is. It's a bouncing ball that we don't ever get to see come to a stop. So there's major problems, and that's why I think it's getting really bad reviews. 5.5 on IMDb, 35% on Rotten Tomatoes. But the DP, I thought the DP was great. I mean, the DP was phenomenal. And the acting is just through the roof. I mean, all of these actors took it and ran with it, even if there wasn't much there for them to work with. I mean, we have tears in here. We have intensity. That's one thing that Jenna Ortega can do. She can act with her eyes alone. We know exactly what she's thinking every time she moves her eyes or stares directly ahead. It's amazing what this girl can do. She is a femme fatale in here, like a succubus kind of character. And if anybody is in Martin Freeman's position, the guy held out, man. The guy did a good job. His wife should be giving him the thumbs up instead of the thumbs down like she does, because the guy held out quite a bit with the amount of smolder that was going on there. Jenna Ortega knows how to turn on the smolder. Holy cow. So anyway, I probably agree that this film, the acting is a 9. If you're an actor and you're just going to see acting, the acting is great. If you're going to see it for an entertainment film, it's more like a 6. It's an above average film because it's well made, but there's not a whole lot of story to grasp onto, and it does get uncomfortable at times because you're like, is this thing going to go anywhere? And it really doesn't. So that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Again, tell me what you guys are seeing. If you see the movie, did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you agree or disagree? Etc. And let me know if you have any insight about why Jade was able to get this money and this hookup with Rogan. All right, and remember that probably by next week I'm going to be launching the Lords of LA Late Pledge, which is my Vampire Mob set 1950s comic. You'll be able to get issues 1 and 2. Issue 2 is, I have about 10 more pages left. I still have a little way to go. And we're also going to be launching in a couple of months my collaboration with Mark Spears, who is a cover artist with the classic Monsters of Riftstorm. And we are going to be doing a area control deck builder for that. So if you're a gaming person, then this will definitely be in your wheelhouse, or if you're just a fan of monsters in general. All right. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. And check out some of my other videos right now. And remember to like and subscribe. All right.